Callie Finn. Listen, I'm so excited. We're here today to talk about the WNBA unleashing the schedule. And it was a surprise. I mean, some people may have known. You may have known. You're in the know. But I'm just saying, like, it was a surprise to most. We didn't know that the schedule was going to come out yesterday. And there's so many things on there that really intrigue me. There's some things on there that I question. And I want to also know what your thoughts were on the initial release. But how about we start with the rookies that were in the conversation all season, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And they actually won't be playing on opening night. They'll be playing on day 2 of the season. So the season starts on May 16th. They will be playing on May 17th. Callie, one, are you shocked that we're not getting them on opening night? But also, they're going to play, I think, a record 5 times this season in the regular season. So this will be the first of 5 matchups. And of course, we know, I'm sure all of those will be national TV games. We know any games between these two are appointment viewing for good reasons and bad reasons, I would say. But 5 games between the Fever and Sky. What do you think about that?
Yeah, am I surprised? Absolutely not. I mean, I think back to when WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert went on TV and talked about just how lucrative she imagined that the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry could be. Not imagined, but believed and saw it to be. And so I think that she's doing exactly what she told us she would do, which is get the absolute most that she can out of it. And I think also you noting that they're not playing on opening day, I feel like we need a name for day 2 that's not, it's not a rivalry day, it's something else. And I don't know what that word's gonna be. Hopefully somebody can help us come up with it. But there is something there is, gosh, rivalry is just not the word. I need help, but it's like, it's a beef day. It does not have to be rivalry day, but it's got to be something because these are going to be potentially emotional and dramatic matchups. I think not only are we getting Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark on day 2, we're also getting the Aces and the New York Liberty on day 2. And I just think that is an absolutely criminal
That's diabolical.
matchup. Diabolical.
Yeah.
Like you're putting the Aces who went for a three-peat bid and saw it cut short in the semifinals by the team that they defeated in the finals the previous year. And now to open their season, you're going to make them sit through the ring night of the team that did it? That is really crazy. Like, diabolical is the perfect word.
Yeah.
That is wild. And I think it's a crazy way to start the season. I mean, rivalry day, whatever we want to call it, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to have to sit there and watch the Liberty hang their banner. And I'm sure the Aces will not appreciate that. So a little motivation very early to start the season for the Las Vegas Aces. But also the other matchup, well, I think there's 3 games that day, but clearly I think those are the 2 marquee matchups that day, Sky Fever and Aces Liberty on day 2. So yeah. I know it's a little weird to start with day 2, so let's back up a little bit and go to day 1, May 16th, the day the season is actually opening. Paige Bueckers Day. Welcome, Paige Bueckers. I mean, okay, we don't know if Paige Bueckers is going to be playing for the Dallas Wings, but they do have the number 1 pick, and the Dallas Wings are scheduled to play that day versus the Minnesota Lynx. So that's interesting. I wonder when's the last time the Dallas Wings opened the season. But I do think it's fitting that the Lynx are opening the season. I think I would have actually liked to see the Lynx and Liberty on day 1, but hey, that's just me. But it'll be Dallas, and it will be, who did I just say? I already forgot. It'll be Dallas and the Minnesota Lynx. So, and Paige Bueckers likely, that's the expectation. We know this is why the league did it, likely making her WNBA debut, Callie.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, we went through day 2, that's like revisiting the past, but day 1 is new beginnings, right? You just mentioned Dallas Wings, and that's going to be really cool. I think about I mean, we hope ideally it'll be Paige Bueckers and just what that start will look like for the franchise, for her career. And then don't we also have the Golden State Valkyries on opening day
Yes.
against the Los Angeles Sparks? So it's like a new beginning for California basketball, our first glimpse at the 13th franchise, the new expansion team. So I think that's actually a smart way to do it. We were talking about the revenge day a little bit, but they might have done this right. We got positive vibes, new beginnings, new starts, and then we go back to the past on day 2 and get a little toxic potentially.
Well, if they really want to be diabolical, they would have had Dallas playing the Los Angeles Sparks. But
Yes, little front office, Kurt Miller, his revenge game potentially,
and him getting the #1 draft over the Sparks. But
yeah.
Okay, fine. We're gonna get, the Sparks, who will be retooled nonetheless.
Exactly.
Not sure if Cam Brink will be back by then, but we're gonna get the Sparks with whoever their amazing #2 pick will be. A lot of options there versus the newly formed Golden State Valkyries. So I think it's exciting, though, that they get a game on opening night. A really big deal being made out of this new expansion team in the Bay.
Can we just say, though, we don't get to see the finals rematch until July 30th? Lynx and Liberty won't play until July 30th. That's over a month into the season.
It's so late in
Natalie.
July. It's one of the things that really stood out to me and I thought was ridiculous. I tweeted about it because I was like, what is this? And not only won't we get it until July 30th, but then we get like 3 games in August. So like in that moment, that's going to be great in August because I assume that's going to be must-see TV. But the fact that we won't have it until July, that was an epic finals. We know that from the viewership numbers. We know that like if we watch the games, we know anytime you lose or you're like a runner-up for something, I expect Nafisa Collier to be coming back with a vengeance. So I expect the Lynx to be very good again. And the fact that we will not see them play the reigning champs who beat them in the finals until late July, the very end of July, you might as well call it August, is crazy to me. It's crazy.
No, it's absurd. I mean, I think, like you said, we do have a lot to look forward to up until then, but the fact that we've got to wait that long is wild. I think also in terms of you look at the New York Liberty's schedule. I mean, I wonder, are they looking at the Aces coming to their ring night banner raising ceremony as a positive? Or are they like, not this team again? Like, I wonder what their reaction is to it. You also look at the Aces schedule. They're playing 5 of their first 7 games on the road. And it's just like a reminder. If anything, my biggest takeaway from this schedule release is like, we are not in 2024 anymore. Like, the Aces are not the reigning back-to-back champions.
Right.
Like, this is all new. We're starting over. So it's like you have the Aces. They started 4 games on the road last season. Now first 5, 4 games at home. Now first 5 on the road. It's just completely brand new slate.
Yeah, I think the one other notable to me, just a couple of other notables about the season. It's going to be a 44-game season, right? Yep. Also, All-Star this year will be in Indiana. Most people know that. So Indiana will host the All-Star game. Additionally, the Commissioner's Cup, the title game, I believe, is in July as well. So those are just key things to pay attention to. I'm just looking here to look at my notes. The title game for the Commissioner's Cup is on July 1st, actually. That's a Tuesday. And then the All-Star game is going to be July 19th. So just dates for people to be keeping in mind. I do want to just one other thing point out is the game in Boston. Connecticut Sun will be playing a game at TD Garden again. And they actually broke that news a few days before the schedule release. I think there was a tweet that the Sun account tweeted with Dejanay holding up a sign. So we now know that game is going to be on July 15th. But it's going to be against the Indiana Fever. And we did not know initially who that game was going to be. But it's July 15th in Boston versus the Fever. I will say, Callie, I love this TD Garden thing. I'm one of the proponents of moving that franchise to Boston. And I think Dejanay Carrington tweeted something similar along those lines posted that on X. But I actually think that this game should not be against the Indiana Fever, only because last year they filled that arena without it being the Fever. And so you don't need the Fever to fill the arena. And I think that it would have been a nice time to give another team that's maybe a little underexposed the opportunity to experience something like that. Indiana has a really large arena. It's sold out all the time. They go and they play in other arenas, and a lot of times arenas have to move to larger locations. Other teams move to larger locations for them. So they're really used to playing in front of a big crowd. And I'm not saying that they're not deserving. It's not that. But other teams don't get that experience often. And so I would have liked to see another team get it. Boston is going to show up for their team regardless. So I would have just liked to see another team in that spot. But otherwise, exciting to look forward to that game.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree.
Oh, okay. Well, I shouldn't say it's rare. We do often agree, but
You're like, wait, you agree?
Yeah, I was waiting for maybe some pushback, but it's not there. So
no, I mean, because you couched your comments, you were like, it's not that they don't deserve it. It just would have been cool to see another team, and I agree with that 100%. Like, it's like you said, it's not like the Fever aren't gonna draw a crowd, but they're not the only team that would. I also think that, like, we talk about toxic fans. The environment around this matchup might not be ideal considering the history between these two teams. But choices were made, and it will be interesting if nothing else. And so we will be tuned in.
It will be very interesting. So look, like I said, the schedule releases and all the information, the tidbits about the schedule, it was great. It was so fun yesterday watching all the teams roll out their schedules and some notable things like we just pointed out about the schedule. Every time we talk every week, Callie, I say I'm ready for the WNBA season to begin, and we still have several months. So until then, we will keep bringing news and talking about it as we can. But Callie, Finn, I appreciate you so much for joining me.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Thanks.